Welcome. This is Pastor Joyce from Christ the Cornerstone Church inviting you to the Faith Hour tonight. And I'm really excited because I have an awesome guest with me tonight. This is Kathy Ripa, and I met her here at Christ the Cornerstone several months ago, and I have gotten to know her on a really personal level, but more importantly, I've really found out an awful lot about your life and where you've been when we met for membership class, and I was astounded as you told me your history and everything that happened to you. I thought, my goodness, all the years I've been pastoring, I can't remember somebody who's been through as much as you've been through. And here you are, survived and well, and I know God did all that for you. So we want to tonight have you kind of speak to the listening audience, tell them just essentially from start to finish. We'll break in between, I'm sure, to give folks a break and give you an opportunity to relax and so forth. But just kind of just tell us, what your life was like before you came to Christ.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Joyce. First, I want to thank God and give God all the glory because He's the one who gave me this life and He's the one who brought me to where I am today, and if it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I got to give God all the glory. And now, from where I was, today is so much different because I come from a background of gangs and all kinds of stuff like that. And I recall going through this as the age of 13 years old. I remember also when I was younger than that, I remember my mom and a couple of my family members raping and abusing me, and just constantly climbing through my windows and doing what they constantly did best.
Wow.
And that was the abuse that they gave me. And I remember on my younger birthday, I think it was my 12th birthday, I remember my brother riding me to a woods, raping and slapping me really bad. And I remember it was on my birthday, and I remember going to my house. My grandma was alive then, and my grandma was really who raised me more than anything because my mom was so abusive and didn't care about us kids. To this day, me or my brother or nobody in my family will acknowledge my mom because of this. So I remember as a kid that I walked into my grandma's house and she had a birthday cake, and I remember just running upstairs crying and screaming that he beat me, he raped me, he abused me, and mommy won't do nothing about it.
Wow.
As that goes on, I remember leaving at the age of 13 years old, going into gangs and drugs and alcohol. I was very much into alcohol and drugs. By the age of 13, I started shooting up drugs.
Really?
And
Wow.
yeah, and I just didn't know no other lifestyle. It was like the lifestyle that I knew best was to hide, run from everything and anything by drugs and alcohol. My thing is the drugs and alcohol numbed me to where I thought that was my lifesaver. That was my way out of life.
I see.
I was homicidal and suicidal at this moment of 13 years old.
Really?
From 13 years old, I started becoming into crisis centers and stuff like that, in and out of crisis centers because I'd get so high, I find myself on the Walt Whitman Bridge, wanting to kill myself, and I recall carrying guns and stuff and wanting to kill other people and stuff like that. I recall a lot of stuff that I did, but I know by grace of God, and it wasn't only until 2 years ago I found God.
Really? Do you mind if I ask how old you are?
Sure. I'm 47.
47. So for the time you were 12, you were abused, raped, beaten up, and it sounds horrific to me.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible life.
It was a really rough life.
Wow.
Going into the gangs, I was initiated in the gangs. I recall being initiated by 5 men. I had to take their beating for 10 seconds each.
No kidding. 5 men?
5 men. And once I took their beating, I became into the gang.
Wow.
But there was no coming out, and I didn't know that. You
Ah.
know, gangs suck you in like a vacuum cleaner.
Really?
I always tell my kids. I talk to kids now.
Oh, do you?
And I go to juvenile halls or anybody willing to want me to talk for them, for their children or anything. I go there and talk to their child about guns, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is that they would like. And I basically go to juvenile halls and I tell them about how we do it. And I basically could put on a role play if
Really?
you want.
Sure.
And I put on a role play and I'll basically say, hey, I got some money. You want some money? You know,
Sure, yeah, who wouldn't want money?
Who wouldn't want
Right.
money? You know,
Right.
at the age of 12, 13 years
Right.
old, 14 years old. I mean, these kids want money. For
Sure.
$100 looks like a lot of money for
Absolutely,
them.
sure.
Or a nice gold chain will
Uh-huh.
look great for you.
Right.
You know, I got some drugs. I got some marijuana, and inside that marijuana, it's laced with other stuff.
Really?
You know, and then you're sucked into the big stuff. You
I
know,
see.
and then once you say yeah, you can't say no because I'm gonna shoot you if you do.
Wow.
You know, it's as simple as that. You are owned by me.
Wow.
You know, in a gang life.
Really?
You know,
Where were you in the gangs? What city? Where was this?
I was in Philadelphia
Philadelphia.
and
Okay.
Camden, New Jersey.
I
There
see.
was some gangs I went to,
I see.
and then by grace of God, I was drugged here in Florida, and this was 10 years ago. I was drugged here, but I still continued drugs and alcohol and the lifestyle of what I did, but I wasn't in gangs no longer.
How did you get out of the gang?
I got out of the gang by being beat with a baseball bat.
Wow. Tell
Um,
me about that.
When I was beat with the baseball bat, basically they wanted to kill me, you know.
Because you wanted out of the gang?
Yeah, yeah, and
Wow.
I knew too much.
I
I
see.
basically knew their whole ways and everything about what they do.
I see.
And I could go to the police and report them, so they basically cut me out.
I see.
Where I basically got beat with a baseball bat. I ended up in a coma for quite some time. I recall coming out of the coma, I didn't know who I was or anything, you know.
Wow.
When I came out, so my family some of my family was still good to me, and they lost
see.
track of me.
I see.
And
So how did you get from New York? You were in New Jersey, rather?
Yes.
Is that the last place you were before you came to Florida?
Yes.
So how did you get here to Florida?
I got here by my daughter. My daughter is in Florida, and
I see.
She said, "Mom, you're going to end up dead, and I don't want you dead." And
Wow.
I said, "I don't care. I love drugs. You know, I loved drugs at the time. You know, and,
I
and
see.
it was nothing or nobody could
Wow.
tear me apart from that
I see.
lifestyle that I did. You know, it was only 2 years ago that I went to. I had drank and drugged to the point of no return. I smoked so much drugs there was no return. And
What
I
were you
drove
smoking?
back-
I mean, were you smoking like
I
crack?
was smoking
or?
crack
Wow.
and drinking a lot of rum and coke.
I see.
And I just basically I went and I ran my car into another car. But I thought I was going to kill somebody. I had a hit list, I need to say, that I was going to kill 15 people.
Really?
And because this girl crushed my heart. And I was
Ah.
going to kill 15 people.
Yow.
So I had this basic whole image. I'm the gang member now again.
Right.
You turned me back again. You know,
I
it
see.
was all you. And it was nothing about me.
I
you
see.
know, I was selfish and not knowing that I was going to kill a lot of people or none of that at that time because I was too high. When this
Wow.
happened, a little something hit me in the head, and I'm not sure what it was. I'm sure today it was spiritual awakening, and I ended up in the Salvation Army in Sarasota, Florida.
I see.
When I ended up in the Salvation Army in Sarasota, I looked at these people like they were crazy.
Okay.
I recall Dr. Sutton, which is the leader of the Salvation Army in Sarasota. I recall him calling me up to the office and saying that he's going to throw me out of the Salvation Army because he's scared of people's lives. That's how mean and vicious I was. I recall that, and I told him, "Oh, you believe in all this God stuff, but you don't believe in that you could save me, huh?" And you apparently
challenged him, didn't you?
Yeah, I challenged him that he was thinking that I was God. I guess you thought I was God, but then there was that night that they had worship.
Okay.
And when they was worshiping, I was laughing.
Wow.
And
Well, we'll go ahead. We'll take a break right now. I want to hear more about that Salvation
Sweet.
Army thing. We're gonna play a song now, but
Okay.
give you a minute to catch your breath
Thank
and
you.
everything. But we'll be back. Thank you for joining us tonight at faithradioconnection.com. We're listening and talking to Kathy Ripper. What a story!